Congratulations on your 1-year podcast anniversary.
Congratulations, Patrice, on the success of the podcast.
I just congratulate you on that. I wish you many more years, much more success.
Hey there, this is Patrice from patricewashington.com, where we chase purpose, not money. Welcome back to the Redefining Wealth podcast. It's our anniversary. Yes, our anniversary, not just my anniversary. And what a first year in podcasting it has been. This experience, this journey, this opportunity has been absolutely more than I could have imagined. I just have to say that. This episode is all about sharing the impact that Redefining Wealth has had on so many of you. But in true Patrice fashion, I want to make sure that you understand the impact that has also happened to me, because I feel that my life has completely been stretched and grown, and I've blossomed as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a business person as well, because it's one thing to be working through these pillars by yourself and not really be accountable to anyone, quite frankly. And it's another thing to be doing it with a community of people that stretches from the United States to the UK to Japan to Canada to Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and so many of the other places where you all are listening from. And I feel like I have the world's largest accountability group. So as you have been impacted in your favorite pillars in different places in your life, the ones where you felt like you needed the most support, I have been as well. Because as you know, everything that I share with you, I always say, I'm not your guru. We're doing this together. It was always my dream to build a community of people who really wanted to become their best selves together. And so I have that now. I have that in you guys. And before we get out of here today, I'm actually going to share how we can make it official in terms of being in community together, because I get all your DMs. I get all of your messages. I had a chance to listen to over 36 of your testimonials and your feedback. And I really, really would love for the next year and beyond to actually bring us all together. So much of your testimonies and what's been going on in your life will be such a blessing to other people in this community, because I also get the struggles, I get the fears, I get the areas where you guys are intimidated in and you want support. And I really think that if you linked up, or at least had an opportunity to really read and absorb and listen to the feedback of other people in this community, you would know that it's also possible for you. And you would have someone who was relatable to you and who you could connect with to hopefully hold you accountable. And so I have a theory around how we can make this happen, and I want you to be a part of it, and I'll share more at the end. But for those of you who are impatient, because I know some of you are, and you want to know more right now, go to IamAPurposeChaser.com. But I just need to let you know that there's been so many ways that I have been also impacted by Redefining Wealth. And so I try to narrow it down to pillars as much as possible. I want you to listen to the takeaways and be reminded of how putting these pillars into action, or shifting your mindset around how you think of these pillars and what they can do for you, like how if it happened for other people, it'll happen for you. I believe that God is no respecter of person. And I'm so glad that it's not just myself or the amazing guests that I bring. I really wanted you to hear from other members of your community. That means so much to me that you listen in and catch the vision for what's possible. Now we're going to start with the fifth pillar. It's funny. The fifth pillar is the one you guys least talked about. You kind of least went into the fifth pillar. Everyone has their favorite pillars, but it's funny. Overwhelmingly, there were some pillars, but this one in particular, I must say that for me, the fifth pillar has been one of the greatest pillars. Actually, if you follow me on Instagram, you're going to see that I recently joined this 6-week challenge. It's called a hard body challenge. I'm on a quest to lose 3 to 5% of my body fat. And it's really just about discipline for me. I want to be more disciplined, both physically and mentally, and talking more about understanding the bigger vision as we do here with the Fit Pillar, and that we need to protect the vessel and nurture the vessel needed to execute that vision. The more I'm on the road saying that to you all, the more convicted I have been. And so it comes at such an appropriate time that this challenge at the local boot camp that I attend was coming up, because that has been the area that I have stretched the most. I have changed so much of my eating and my sleeping habits and recommitted to therapy on a more consistent basis. And I've done so many things in the years since launching Redefining Wealth. And so while so many of you have sent me your images of you working out and you send me video DMs on Instagram of you working out, nobody was trying to say it on the podcast. So for the Fit Pillar, I'm really going to focus more on the mindset shifts many of you have had, because we know that we have to be mentally fit and prepared for this journey towards wealth. So take a listen to some of your fellow purpose chasers.
Hi, my name is Dana. I was not that into podcasts before this year, but I would say that Redefining Wealth was one of the first podcasts that I started listening to, and it has really helped me in a lot of different ways. It's opened my mind up to different perspectives, different terms of growth, and what it means to kind of have this duality. And what I mean by duality is, hey, Dana, you're doing great. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you've accomplished so far. You're getting it, girl. But also, you could be doing more. You can be excelling more in this area. So it's like being proud of myself, but at the same time, not settling and always striving to be better with my health, with my finances, with relationships, and just it's given me permission to say, you know what? I don't know it all. And it's okay to, what you say, seek wisdom. I pray a lot. I go to therapy. The podcast is just really helping to put everything together.
Hello, Patrice. This is Dr. Stephanie D. Barnes from Atlanta, Georgia. I just want to thank you so much for your commitment to the Redefining Wealth podcast. I have listened to the entire podcast series from the first episode introducing the pillars all the way up into the most current episode. And it has truly helped me to change the way I look at wealth. I'm an attorney. I have a PhD. I have a lot of book knowledge, and I have made and lost a lot of money over my career. And even though I have always known what to do, I know about financial plans. I know about budgets. I know about how important it is to invest. I know all of these things, yet my behaviors and actions have shown otherwise. And I really love how you help us to develop a healthy relationship with ourselves and all 6 of the pillars so that we can develop wealth for ourselves and our families. So thank you so much for the commitment that you've made to this podcast. Thank you for showing up in excellence. And thank you for truly, truly redefining wealth so that we are able to create it for ourselves and our families. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Hi, Patrice. This is Kara Freisen from Maryland. Congratulations on reaching the 1-year mark of the Redefining Wealth podcast. Please know that your labor of love exceeds its name. You and your guests have opened my eyes to so many valuable lessons, and for that, I am truly grateful. I honestly feel that collectively, your pillars have taught me that I cannot afford to be voluntarily ignorant, whether that's about my financial health, my goals, or what have you. I actually started a self or personal development journey before I became a faithful listener of your podcast, and every episode continues to build me up. Please know that your work matters. You are making a difference, and you are truly an inspiration to me. I pray that God will continue to strengthen and bless you. Congratulations again.
Now, next, what I really enjoyed were the takeaways from the people pillar. And I know for myself in the last year, especially because of doing the podcast, I have really been able to connect and build relationships with people that I've admired for a long time from a distance, or just, really watched in social media. And I'm talking guests that you guys haven't even heard from yet, the relationships that are being built. With the people pillar, I'm always reminding you that there's someone watching you who has the power to bless you. And the relationships that have been built and the many things that are evolving in my own business and in my personal life, quite frankly, have come just from people. And I want you to take a listen to how these three ladies have incorporated the people pillar in their own lives. And I think what touches me the most is that they have used the podcast to support and encourage and connect with other people. Take a listen.
Hi, Patrice. My name is Adelicia, and I'm calling in from St. Louis. It was truly God's perfect timing when I happened upon your broadcast. Using your sage advice as a guide, I'm stepping out in faith, really just to build relationships that matter. As an underrepresented business owner, it's beyond amazing to see women like you pave the way as a pioneer for better. Patrice, you are a force. Thank you so much for just introducing us to powerhouses like Marshawn Evans and Professor Dennis Kimbrough. Truly, all of your interviews have been just life-changing. Thank you so very much for all you do, and please continue to do all that you do.
Hi, this is Linda Murray Bullard, and I come to tell you how Redefining Wealth podcast has improved my life. I have been able to take the lessons learned from the various pillars and apply them to my business and to the way I think about things. Being a person who loves people and who loves to see others grow, I'm able to use the lessons learned and help people just become the best them. So not only are you blessing me and my business, you're also blessing the people who I have the wonderful privilege to sit in front of. So thank you for what you do, Patrice Washington. Thank you for always being the money maven, but again, for helping us to redefine how we look at money and how we use money and how we show up in the world. God bless.
Hello, Patrice. This is Gwendolyn Goodman. And while you are a daughter generationally, your work is a treasure for us all. Your Redefining Wealth podcast is a daily for me. I am intentional about taking time at a point in my day to re-listen to my favorites as motivation for what I need to move me forward for that day. It's rare when I don't listen daily, and generally it's because I'm out of the office. I also find that I'm often able to refer others in my sphere of influence to specific podcasts for either their lift or their enlightenment. So thank you for creating this space to share your excellence and that of others in your community. And congratulations on this anniversary, and keep the excellence coming.
Now, with the space pillar, this has been by far one of your most favorite pillars out of nearly, I think almost 4 dozen, over 3 dozen voice memos in particular. I think about 30% of you talked about the space pillar in particular. And I have to say that was one of the ones I was really challenged by when I was thinking about really launching Redefining Wealth as a brand, but also the podcast. As someone who's been known as a money expert, and I've told you guys this many times, I'm like, I was in the money box and I would think about, well, how can people receive this information from me? I'm supposed to be a money person. They don't want to talk to me about sacred spaces and clearing up clutter and all this stuff. Like, why would they listen? And I'm so glad that I got out of my own way and really started to embrace this message about clutter and about how it's the physical manifestation of chaos in our mind, and teaching you about how many of us already know what to do to get to the money that we desire and the wealth that we desire, but our minds are so cluttered that we just can't think our ways out or think our ways through certain situations in order to find it. And for you all to receive this so well really blew my mind. So take a listen to what a few of your fellow purpose chasers have taken away from the space pillar.
Thank you, Patrice Washington. My name is Kathy Edwards. I'm from Winter Park, Florida. It's said that your home is a reflection of your mind. Well, the pillar that I've made the most progress in is space, setting up your life to support you. Here are a few of the blessings so far this year. Peace in my mind, body, and soul, actually being able to enjoy my home, hosting family and friends, and supporting me and allowing me to get a job at my dream company. Thank you so much, my dear, for helping light my path. And I pray that you reap an abundant harvest for all that you do, and that may God bless you and yours.
Hello, Miss Patrice Washington. This is Dr. Jameson Mercier. Congratulations on a year of podcasting and a year of stretching and growing people. We know for sure, trust me, we've grown and been stretched ourselves. In response to your question about what connected with us most, personally for me, the space pillar connected with me because I am one who needs my environment to reflect what I'm doing. And as a practicing minimalist, I'm glad to hear that you and I connect on that level.
Hi, Patrice. This is Maritza from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for this opportunity to send my appreciation to you. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary. I'm so excited. Redefining Wealth has been an absolute blessing to my life. I listen to you religiously every Thursday morning after I pray and spend time with God. I put on your podcast as I'm getting ready for work, and it has been an absolute joy. You have helped me in so many ways you have no idea. I would say the one pillar that has greatly affected me and where I've shown great progress is in the space pillar and really just creating that space for me, getting rid of the clutter in my office and making a space of my own where I can freely think and create and work on my business ventures and really just have that free space to just let God speak. There's no clutter. I've been cleaning out my closets, cleaning out my jewelry cases. And it's honestly, you've given me the motivation. You are a mentor, even though I've never met you. And I pray for you. I thank God for you. And thank you for what you're doing. He is using you mightily. And my prayer is that I one day can meet you and just give you a hug. God bless you, and may you continue just to be used by the Lord to do the awesome work that you're doing.
Faith pillar is actually the tie with space pillar. It's almost like we can make redefining wealth. If I was going off of popularity, it seems like we could make redefining wealth all about faith and space, which I think is amazing because I always saw more people listening to the podcast and making it more about money or work. I think that was just my perception. And I'm so glad that I opened it up so that I could hear from you. Because faith is, of course, my greatest pillar. Definitely, hands down. And because I've been so personally tested on so many levels this year, and I hear from so many of you who have been personally tested, and by me talking about being harassed, or just, choosing peace on purpose, or so many of the different intimate things that I've shared on the podcast, I just really see that this was like it had to be there. I don't think Redefining Wealth would be as impactful as it is without the faith pillar, without reminding you that nothing happens to us, it happens for us, without reminding you to get in alignment with Source, without reminding you to make time for that sacred space in your life, without reminding you and myself to surrender. I don't think that any of us would be any closer to the wealth that we desire if we were not making faith a priority. And I just loved, so many of you talked about faith, but I loved how Gina, Tawana, and Janelle incorporated faith into their responses. Take a listen.
Wow, this is Gina from Akron, Ohio. Congratulations, Patrice, on the success of the podcast. Listen, I know that I am a woman whose life is spoken over and whose steps have been ordered. So when I was led to you, it was no coincidence. Your ministry, because girl, that's what it is, has been a blessing to my personal spiritual journey beyond measure. I have laughed, cried, and had many epiphanies with you along the way. And I just want to say that I pray that you will be blessed with health, strength, love, abundance, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. Thank you, my sister, for giving so much of yourself. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Hi, my name is Tawana and I'm from Chicago. I wanted to share how redefining wealth has been a blessing to me. Faith, as we know, without works is dead. So my faith has strengthened tremendously just from listening to Patrice talk and just from going through the Redefining Wealth program. It has definitely put me at a different space in life. So Patrice, thank you so much for the wealth of knowledge you've shared. It's truly appreciated. And I can honestly say, I feel like I'm at a different space in my life from doing the Redefining Wealth. So again, thank you so much for all of the helpful information you've shared.
Hi, Patrice. My name is Janelle Darden, and I am based in Atlanta, Georgia. You have blessed me so much with this podcast over this last year. I cannot tell you how your episodes, especially the ones that you do by yourself, I definitely love the ones that you do by yourself the most because you pour into us and you share a piece of your heart that most entrepreneurs don't share, especially on your level. In some of the episodes you talk about, you want to be the person online that you are in person. And I've met you 3 times now, not sure that you remember, but I definitely feel like you are absolutely that person in person and online. So my favorite episodes are Grace and Ease. I say that to myself daily. Selective with your surrender. I didn't realize how selective I was being, and surrender has become my new favorite word for the year. Simplicity. Be that walking contradiction. You shut it down. I had to listen to that 3 times. So I guess as I'm talking through this, I realize that faith is definitely my favorite pillar because you share nuggets that I can actually use in my day-to-day life. So I am so thankful and I'm so appreciative. Continue doing what you're doing. I look up to you in real life. So thank you so much.
They just blessed me so much. So much. And I'm just so grateful for Janelle just affirming me with that being the same online as offline. That has always been so important to me in my work for many years because I have experienced many people that I really admired or adored from a distance and then met them in person and thought they were terrible. Just terrible. And a big part of my work has been about making sure that, you're the same online and offline, that you just can show up living your life's purpose, being authentic to who you are, not faking the funk like you have to appear to be someone else. And so I really appreciate her for that. And it leads me to the work pillar, because this year, you guys, I've had to make so many tough decisions about work. I have consistently been turning stuff down, which is hard. I'm not going to lie. And I know when I talk about chase purpose, not money, I've gotten feedback from people who are like, but you have money, so it's easy to say that. But let me tell you something. Just since launching the podcast, the many things, one, that I don't get invited to anymore because I'm, moving into more of a lifestyle thing, has made an impact. I'm not going to lie. It definitely has. And then number 2, the things that I just won't do. The episode last week was about I'm not above backing out. And I have truly been backing out of different opportunities that just no longer move me. I have moved away from what no longer moves me so that I could have the time and the freedom and the mind, the clarity to really give the things that I enjoy the most all of my effort. And one of those things, obviously, is this podcast. And so there's on one hand where I can go, there's that one part that's like, okay, work hasn't been what it's normally been because quite frankly, I've made much more in years past. And then there's the other part that's like, I feel so good and fulfilled though, because I am truly chasing my purpose. And I feel that this is my purpose. And so that's really a note for anyone who's had to pivot in the work pillar and you've had to make some adjustments. I don't think anyone gets a pass. I have not gotten a pass. Let me be clear. I haven't gotten a pass. And there's been many times when, I won't say many, but there have been times where I've fought with myself about whether I should just go do something for the check. And then you, as the largest accountability group in the world, have made me literally say, no, I can't. Because it's not about whether you guys know or not. I know. And I can't sit here and tell you something that I'm not doing. And chasing purpose, not money, is hard. But guys, it's so necessary. And what's continued to keep me encouraged are the messages about you guys getting more clients, you guys getting bigger contracts, you making more money overall. And it's the thing that makes me know and believe in my heart of hearts that this notion of chasing purpose, not money, is truly a movement. It's a movement. And so I want you to hear a few of the snippets that came from people who really have made some progress in the work pillar.
Hi, this is Arnite Guy, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Redefining wealth has been a blessing to me through each pillar, especially the work pillar, because as an entrepreneur myself, you're always pouring into other people and you need something to pour into you. The podcast has often poured into me, and just a few of my favorites are Egypt Sherrod, with just talking about the basics of simplicity, Sharon Beeson with entrepreneurship, and your mentor, Vernon, just the reality and the candidness of you, Patrice, in your messages on each podcast is awesome. Having met you in person, you're the same on podcast as in person, and I definitely appreciate that. I believe you're an awesome speaker. You empower me with each episode and all of your resources, your books. I take a moment, about 15 minutes a night, and just pour back into myself through your college wealth book. So I just appreciate you. I want to wish you happy anniversary and thank you for continuing to do your life's purpose in educating the world on how to achieve theirs. Many blessings to you and your guest.
My name is Gretchen, and I have been a hairstylist for over 30 years. And at this point, I can see how all those pillars tie in. And yes, the dividends are showing more clients, more income. Thank you so much.
This is Simone Hardy, and I am hailing from Atlantic City, New Jersey. And Redefining Wealth has helped me definitely want to find my life's purpose, because that's what's most important to me. And I didn't really see the framework of it until I looked at the pillars and went through each one. And the life purpose is what really spoke to me. And that's what I'm working on. And I thank you for that, because without hearing it the way you put it, it would have been much more difficult than it has been. And that's my whole life purpose. I'm working on that, and it's unfolding for me on the many different levels of my life. So thank you. Continued success for you, and peace out.
Thank you so much, Arnite, Gretchen, and Simone. I value you taking away a lot from the work pillar, but just also focusing on your purpose. That makes my heart sing. Like, that is what makes all of this worth it for me. I know that it's not quite the normal conversation from someone who's a personal finance expert. It's supposed to be all about the money, but I do believe and I do pray that as you continue to chase purpose, not money, alongside me, that you, a year from now, will be able to have even greater testimonies. Okay, and next, there were so many of you that literally just kept saying, all the pillars work, all the pillars have blessed me, all the pillars have changed in my life. And so Instead of just going to money, I wanted to really just get to several of these messages that really, really touched my heart. Some of these came through at different points when I was frustrated, I was flustered, I was tired. And then to hear your messages, and especially to hear from so many men, quite frankly, I was not really, really expecting that. But to hear from so many men who not only appreciated the work, but appreciated how the work is impacting women, it was just so different and it was so moving, and it would come at times when I needed it the most. So for our last set, I want you to hear from Brandon out of Philly, Tamika, and Amy.
Hi, Patrice. This is Brandon coming from Philly. I'm one of your many male listeners. And I say male listeners because I know that you focus a lot on women empowerment, and that's dope. Like, I love that. I love being able to see a woman empowering other women. And, I definitely support that cause. But we definitely do have some men out here that really appreciate and applaud your message. So I thank you. And I thank you that I'm not one of those egotistical guys that believe that he can't listen to what a woman says, because you definitely drop a lot of gems, a lot of wisdom that is applicable to everybody across racial lines, gender lines, whatever the case may be. So I just want to thank you for that. And I also want to congratulate you for, a year doing the Redefining Wealth podcast. I came on a little bit late, but once I found out about it, like, I got extremely excited. I passed off the link to the podcast to pretty much everybody I know, women and men included. So, I just congratulate you on that. I wish you many more years, and I wish you much more success. And, just thank you for everything that you are doing out here. It's appreciated.
Hey, Patrice, my name is Tamika. I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina. I just want to say congratulations on your 1 year podcast anniversary. Oh my gosh, girl, I love your podcast. If I don't tune into anybody else's podcast for the week, I'm definitely tuning in to Redefining Wealth. I resonate with all of the pillars. There's something each and every time you post a podcast that I can pull something from. You're very intentional about the people that you share with your audience. You're very intentional about everything that you put into this podcast, and I love it. It blesses me every single time I listen. Keep doing you and operating in your purpose. Thank you for sharing your gift with me and everybody else.
This is Amy from Atlanta, and I am so proud, humbled, happy, and honored to be one of your OGs that you reference. Which pillar have I made the most progress in? All of them. How could I not move forward when hearing from Brandy Harvey and Paul Brunson and Brittany Castro and Sherry Riley, Dr. Kimbrough, Lori Harder, Lathan Thomas, Egypt Sherrod, and Billionaire. Oh boy, Billionaire did do some permanent mind-blowing. And all of that sprinkled with your brilliance throughout. I read more because of your amazing interviews with fabulous authors. I care less what others think. I focus more on my health and vessel, and I give thanks often. So thank you, Patrice, for the first of what I hope is many years of podcast. You rock.
I am overwhelmed today by this love fest. I really am. It means so much to me, again, that so many of you contributed to this episode, but that you continue to show up and contribute by listening, by sharing, by downloading, by tagging me in social media, by posting about the podcast in different places. I appreciate you so much. And I, just like you, have adored so many of the guests, really all the guests for me. That's the only reason I bring them before you, is because first, I adore their messages, but I take a lot of what the guests say to heart. And many of you, because it was so fresh in particular, referenced Billionaire PA's podcast episode. And he said something that really stuck with me. It was a reference to Cash App and about support. And he said, I don't need likes. If you support me, Cash App me $1. And essentially, we all know that likes don't pay bills. And it moved me so much. And when I did my team retreat a few weeks ago, it was still really heavy on my spirit, because I never have been the type of person to say, okay, well, I need support. And that is one of those areas I've told you. Back in the day, I didn't ask for help. I didn't know about coaching or mentoring. But recently, I've been giving myself permission to ask for the support that I need. And so I'm really, really excited for a couple reasons because one, of course, it's the anniversary. Two, another layer to redefining wealth for me has always been about community. And I really have always desired, but after hearing all of these different testimonials and how amazing each one of you are, I really was craving a space where I could spend more time with people like me, people who are purpose chasers and who are willing to do the work to become their best selves. I also know that I'm at a point where I have to get support in order to sustain the podcast. And so I wanted to find a way to bridge that gap and bring it all together. And I was recently introduced to a platform to make that happen. And so I created a space for those who genuinely desire to sow into this ministry so that I can continue to support you on your journey to living your life's purpose and finding fulfillment and ultimately earning more without having to chase money. And when Billionaire said, cash at me $1, right? That really resonated with me because I was looking for different platforms that would allow me to get the support that I need, but not try to beat people over the head, if you will, because that's also not my heart. And so in walks Patreon. I was introduced to Patreon at the podcast movement. You guys know I spoke there a couple months ago, just in July, actually. And if you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a really simple concept. So it provides an opportunity for you to support a creator like myself financially for the valuable content that we produce. And in my case, it would just help cover the cost of editing and producing and marketing the Redefining Wealth podcast. I have to be honest with you guys, in the year of Redefining Wealth, the year that we've been in existence, I have spent over $20,000 between editing, producing, and marketing the podcast. And that's a hefty investment for something that you're not monetizing. I have avoided, although I've been hit up several times, I have avoided putting ads in this podcast because many of the people who have reached out were not in alignment with me, with my message, or with the pillars. And it would have been easy several months ago to just accept the support from advertisers, but then to start cutting into the episodes with all kind of random messages. And it just wasn't in alignment with what we've created here. I do consider this podcast sacred. Like, this is a sacred space. And I see you guys differently, and that might sound crazy, and we can get into that on another day, but I see you. I see you. I visualize what you look like on that treadmill or on the train or as you're cooking or as you're bathing your kids and you're working out, all these different scenarios that you have told me, when you're listening to the podcast. I see you. And I also see your faces when that random ad comes up. And I'm just like, no, I can't do that to her. I don't think he'll like that. And you may not care, but there's an experience that I've always envisioned, or I've envisioned since launching this podcast. And I really want to keep it that way. So you know that it's a hefty investment of time, of resources to create the podcast. And I'm asking for your support. But I'm not just asking for support. I also want to connect this to the community that we build. And so I want you to visit IamAPurposeChaser.com. IamAPurposeChaser.com. That is the Patreon page that I created. And that's the platform where if you support for as little as $5 a month, which boils down to about $1 an episode, $1 an episode. If you support, not only do you have my complete gratitude, I want you to help me with show topic ideas. I want you to suggest guests, give me books we should read. I want to bless you with early access to live events, to special seating at all the live events, as many as I can guarantee, because sometimes, I'm brought in by other people, but we are having our own live event in 2019. discounts to those things. I'm even launching, I'm so excited, Patrice's Pod Club, which is a virtual book club. You are going to join me not only in reading the books of the many authors that we bring on, but you will also be asking the questions and participating in some of the interviews via Zoom. Yep, I am so excited about that. Exclusive giveaways, monthly purpose work. There's so much there. So go to IamAPurposeChaser.com. And if you truly want to support and be a part of the official community where I will be spending more time these days, because my goal is to get off the road as much as I am and be at a place where I could really put my all into the podcast, but also into building up the men and women who lift me up. Like, I want to truly, I work from home pretty much by myself all day. And so as much as I have my own circles and community groups and all those things, I want to really be in community, inside the community, and bring you all together. And so you'll hear more about it. Don't worry. But I would love for you to be a part of this with me. And when we get to the first 100 patrons, I'm going to do some live masterclasses. So you'll be able to join me for live masterclasses and Q&As and all that great stuff. So go to IamAPurposeChaser.com. The link will also be in the show notes. And again, from my heart to yours, I am so grateful. I'm grateful that I didn't let my fears consume me when this opportunity came up. I'm grateful that my family has supported me through all the time. You guys, you have no idea all the time it takes to create the podcast and to invest in the podcast. And I'm grateful for you guys and the way you show up and you share and you encourage me. You have no idea. You have no idea how much I appreciate each and every one of you. And I just look forward to finishing this year strong and building great community with each and every one of you. I want to chase purpose alongside you. Like, I really want us to do this thing together. I believe a year from now, should you join this community, you will look back and go, this was the best year, the most productive year, the most faithful year of my life. I really believe that. And I want to have a different way of connecting with you and making sure that you're actually implementing to the extent that you allow me to. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for everything. I don't even think I can thank you enough, but man, 1 year, guys, 1 year, we did it. And I'm so excited about what year 2 has to offer. Until next time, I want you to go live your life's purpose, find fulfillment, and earn more without ever chasing money. Talk to you later.